good afternoon and early good morning, I think, over in the UK. I've got to remember that. It's Jordie James from jordiejanespsychicmedium.com.au. I hope you have had a wonderful week so far. I know it's Friday over here, so I think it's still Thursday night over in the States. Yeah, it's been a really good week for me this week. I've been really busy. I've been over in our beautiful state of South Australia in Adelaide for a beautiful psychic expo. I was over there with the beautiful Nicole McHenry, sharing a booth and a stall with her. And I also caught up with Tonya Reeves, my other partner in crime, that lives just not far from me in Sunday Creek. She was on yesterday. And, yeah, it was a beautiful weekend. I drove over, which I absolutely love driving. That's one thing for me when I drive. It gives me a bit of a clear head. It's like meditation for me. I sort of can put the music up full bore or listen. I've actually been starting to listen to books now while I've been driving. So it's about a 7.5, 8-hour drive to Adelaide, and it was lots of fun catching up with an old primary school friend, which was pretty cool. I've been seeing her now for the last probably 3 years, dropping in, and the best thing about her, one of the good things, she's always a gorgeous girl. She's actually a cellar manager, so she looks after one of the wineries, the cellar at one of the wineries in South Australia, and they have got some gorgeous reds, and I love going there because I just spend money. I love my red at the end of the day, especially if it's been a hard week and everything as well, which this is where I want to talk to people about as well this week. I also, with Mother's Day just gone too, I got some gorgeous presents from my children. I actually got an easel because I'm hoping to start painting and doing spirit drawings and have a bit of a creative sort of a whimsical thing now, because for me, creativity brings me back to my heart space, because I do sometimes, like we all do, get into our heads, and especially because it's coming up to winter over here in the Southern Hemisphere, we like to sort of stay indoors, and when we stay indoors we get like cabin fever. So for me, that's specifically dominant for me. I do get a little bit of cabin fever, so I like to do things a bit out of the norm, and I like doing arts, and I'm a knitter as well. I love knitting, and I've got to learn to crochet. I haven't quite got that yet, but just looking at things in a creative light and doing things from a heart space, I find that really helps me sort of ground as well, with everything being I call it mundane world, which is looking after children, family, husband, dogs, cats, all that sort of stuff. That's the mundane for me. So, but it's more of the human side, not mundane as in a bit boring. It's just for me, I'm a bit witchy, and witchy woo is better known term one of my teachers and mentors used to say, which is awesome. I love doing my witchy woo craft and everything. So as you can see, I'm an avid reader and I love reading, and I've got to start getting back into things and all my beautiful things. And as you can see, I'm a bit of a deck collector as well. So, this side, I should say. All my beautiful decks that I have grown accustomed to buying. Every time I go to an expo, I always seem to find a deck that I don't have. So, yes, I'm a bit of a deck collector, and I have the beautiful Colette Baron Reid cards with me at the moment. So, yeah, so that's about it. Mother's Day was awesome for me, and we had a really good day. They also got me some fitness stuff because I've sort of been a little bit slack with my fitness. So I have got I got some weights, and I got a fitness ball and everything. So I'm going to start getting back into fitness, not shape, fitness for me. It's more of a health thing for me, and it gives me a bit of a clear head, like driving and things. So, because with meditation, you don't have to sit there for half an hour on a guided meditation. You can just sit and just be clear mind and nothing coming in, no thoughts coming in for 5 to 10 minutes, and that can be your meditation for the day. Or even ask. That's the thing. You can sit and ask spirit what do I need to work on today? So you sit quietly for 5 to 10 minutes and they will show you, they will give you a little bit of a guided answer for that. So it's always good to do that. Also, when using cards, it's another thing too. I sort of started a little bit of a retail job this week, once a week, or once every time they want me to come in. And a gentleman bought some cards and I sort of went, do you know how to use them? He goes, no, I've never used them before. I went, okay. So with cards, that's a really good thing. When you receive or when you get your oracle cards, make sure you touch every single one of the cards to put your energy, to allow the cards to connect with your energy and be yours. Now, that's not to say other people can't pick them up, because other people can pick them up and play with them. That's not an issue at all. For me, I like people using the cards and tapping on them 3 times, because when you tap on them, it gets rid of the energy to start afresh. And what you do is when you first get them, make sure you touch every single card, then put them on the table and shuffle them on the table, like shuffle them all around, put them back together and then shuffle them. They're always really good, and especially when the ones that come out or fly out, you always ask a question. When they fly out, take it. If you don't like it, still read it, because it may not be for you that day. It may be for someone that comes into your path on that day that you may be able to give a little bit of guidance, or you'll understand, oh, so this is the reason why I received this card today. But also when you ask a question, make sure it's to your highest good and to harm none. This is where I like to use that, because I did manifest once and unfortunately things didn't go too well. No one was harmed in the manifest, but still it's always a good idea to say harm none. To my highest good and to harm none is always a good little thing to do. So as I stop myself digressing, which I do occasionally, and I always go off track, so please bear with me for that, I will grab our first caller, and it's Seraphine. Is it Seraphine? Seraphine, sorry.
It's okay.
Is it Seraphine?
Seraphina.
Fina, oh God, I'm so sorry. Do apologise.
It's okay. It's okay.
I understand, because my name is Jordie and people just don't understand how to pronounce that either. So I'm totally with you, girlfriend. Now, as I connect with you, did you want to go psychic, which is direction, or mediumship, which is sort of connection with loved ones?
Whatever feels natural.
Whatever comes through? Okay, cool. Yeah. I know you've got I can feel you've got a couple of questions, but they're more clarity well, it's interesting. I feel like it's more clarity and confirmation of what you're receiving rather than me telling you, if that makes sense. Now, I do have a gentleman who wants to sort of pop in and say hello, and he's very jovial. Like, I want to say he's got this beautiful sense of saying hi, and it's like, I want to say whether or not he's a grandfather or a father, but I just want to make reference to he has this way of coming through, and whether or not he comes through the door with this beautiful jovial sort of energy, but I just want to say he's here and going, ta-da, I'm here. He has this beautiful play on words, and he has this way of coming through that really sort of lightens up the room, if that makes sense. Now, yeah. I don't know. I feel like he's on dad's side of the family, or he's a father or a grandfather, but I just want to make reference to that. I also want to say he would have been in his he's showing me 76. I'm not sure if he was 76 or 78, but if this is not the age that he passed, I want to make reference to this is a very significant age for him, whether or not around house or movement. Now, I do feel like he's telling me that he's got his strength back. I feel like he's walking, he's got this beautiful energy back, because I thank you, because he's showing me that he got to a point where I want to say, and it's funny, he goes, I was a little bit crippled, and he uses the word crippled. Now, for me, I wouldn't use that, but it's what he would say, because his legs were a little bit bowed, or he had like arthritis and things like that. Would that make sense with you?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, thank you. And he's also making me aware, is there 5 children or 5 grandchildren or something? There's 5 children. I want to make reference to.
Five siblings.
Sorry?
It's me, and my siblings were all 5.
Oh, okay. So is this your father or your grandfather?
My grandpa.
Thank you. Is your dad still here? Yes?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Oh, awesome, because he's just wanting to make reference to Dad, because that's what I thought if I've got father or grandfather, because he's really sort of adamant about being around Dad at the moment as well. Sort of he was like a ray of sunshine. He's got this beautiful energy. And also he wants to say that really shone through, and it's funny how I play on words here, so excuse the puns, because I feel like he was a really good person that would say things that would just be, pardon the pun, it's that reference that I'm getting with him. But he goes, I love the way everything shone on the day of his funeral. Now, even if it was cloudy or overcast or rainy, he wants to make reference to sunbeams or sunshine, but he's just making reference to how everything was a very, like, it was for him sunny, if that makes sense, and very jovial. And now, is his wife still here as well?
Yes.
Thank you, because I want to give her a big bunch of, like, yellow and it's funny, the sun thing keeps popping up, but there's sunflowers and daisies and beautiful yellow flowers I want to give to her. So not just a certain flower. I want to say all these different yellow flowers I want to give to your grandmother. And it's just like he wants to come through and give you a massive hug. And there's references, I feel, that he's telling me, and he's actually telling me and feeling. I feel with him so much. Like, there's this energy that just really, like, exuberates. Like, you walk into the room and you just know he's there. Like, and I feel like he's even around. Even around when you have family this is what he wants to tell me. In the last couple of weeks, he's been around a family gathering. Now, I know Mother's Day's just come through, but there's also I want to say another birthday or something around a birthday, and he wants to make reference to he was around the family at this time as well. And there's something about, now over here, please bear with me, but we have a certain saying, and I'm not swearing at all, and I do apologise if you, but he goes, there was a lot of shit and giggles. So for me, that's a lot of people poking fun at each other and having fun. And he wants to make reference to someone referenced him in this conversation as well. And he wants to acknowledge the fact that when this happens, you know he's around.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, we've definitely felt him.
Pardon?
We felt him, definitely.
Oh, yeah. And has it only been like 3 to 5 years? I don't feel like he's been gone that long.
No, maybe 8 years.
Okay. Okay. So for him, he feels like he's gone less time. Oh, he's such a character. It's like, I don't feel like he was a very tall man either, but there's something about wearing a hat as well. He's showing me wearing a hat, but I'm not sure if that makes sense. So,
yeah, he was a character.
Yeah, he reminds me of the old vaudeville type comedians that would trip over nothing and just to get a laugh and just have this beautiful energy. Absolutely love him. Now, I feel like the reason why he's coming through for you is that he needs to inject this in you at the moment. I feel there's a few complications or a few things going on around you with work and family that are sort of pulling you in a few different directions. He wants to make reference to, please look at the sunshine. Please stop getting in your head so much and take a deep breath. Go out to the sunshine, take a deep breath and look into your heart space. You know which is true. You know which way to turn, and you just he's making me aware that all your family are in a heart space, and you always are. So for you, when you get your gut instincts, you need to make sure that you go with them.
Yeah.
Okay. So does that make sense to you?
Yes, it does.
Thank you. And clarity around work. Are you looking at, there's movement around work. Are you looking at changing to a different employer? I don't feel like you're changing careers. I just feel like changing work.
Well, I haven't really worked for a while. I was trained as a dancer, and I've struggled with like some physical injuries, and I've thought about going back into dancing. I've thought about going into singing, and I've also thought about going into acting.
Well, I'm just getting a big yes. Because for me, dancing is your career. So it was your career, and I feel like there's movement in that. Also, singing, you've got a beautiful range as well. I hear a beautiful range in your voice. So he's telling me, is this a family trait too? Like the acting and the drama and all that sort of stuff? I want to make reference to that.
Well, we're all dramatic.
Thank you. It's like, but you know what? It's like I want to say it's a play on words, because it's not really being, oh, my God, it's drama, drama, drama. It's more acting. It's more of because he goes, no, it's not dramaistic. It's like acting. It's like being in a way of helping people look at their problems differently. So it gives them a little bit of fun and laughter and lightheartedness. And I feel like this comes from way back. I mean, I want to say this goes back to, I do want to say vaudeville days, but I just want to make reference to there's something around the family that's very sort of connected with the stage as well.
Okay.
So, yeah. So I will leave that with you, Seraphina. Thank you. And please make sure the clarity for you is just make sure you listen to your heart space. And I do feel like there's movement around there for you.
Yes, thank you. That makes sense.
You're welcome. And do you have 3 children?
No, but I have 3 nephews.
Oh, okay, because he's making me aware of the 3, and he just wants to say hi to them for him. And also he wants to make reference to, has one of them also got his name? Or there's a connection?
I don't think he has his name. No, no, he doesn't have his name, but I'm not sure what the connection is.
There's a connection there. I don't know if it's the birthdays are close or there's some sort of reference to him.
Yes, Scorpios.
Ah, okay, that would make sense. Awesome. So may I leave that with you? Have a lovely evening.
Thank you so much.
But definitely go with that heart space for you for your dancing, and I feel like that your body's going to actually adapt and get a lot better with that. So.
Oh, good.
Okay, I'll leave that with you. Okay. Thank you so much for calling. Okay, I have Jolene from Vancouver on the phone. Hello, Jolene.
Hi, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Good.
That's good. Now, you've got a couple of questions. Would that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Sorry, I've just got, and it's interesting because I sort of work mediumshiply, but I've also got, because I feel like I've got a lady with me and she's very adamant to come through and answer your questions, which is interesting. One's on relationships I want to make reference to, and your health. Would that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So,
yes.
Okay, thank you. I've got to quickly go through this lady. I do have to bring her in. She is adorable. I want to make reference to, I don't feel like she was very tall. I feel like she was 5'3", 5'4", maybe. I do feel like she's got this gorgeous head of hair, and I feel like whether or not it's set, because it's got this curl that always was there. Have you ever, you obviously know what a set curl is, where it's always got that beautiful curl, and it's not really a wavy. You can actually see the curl in the hair, if that makes sense. And it's a bit of a darker grey. I also want to make reference to, I feel like she was in her late 60s when she passed, or there's a reference to late 60s around her health. I do feel like she's got these gorgeous round cheeks and very sort of rosy sort of apple cheeks, if that makes sense, because every time she smiles there's these big cheeks that I just want to squeeze. She's absolutely gorgeous. I want to make reference to, I feel like she's coming over from mum's side of the family as well, but I feel like she may be an aunt or a great aunt. Would that make sense to you?
Possibly.
Okay. Now, she's also making me aware of 4 children. So
4
is mum one of 4?
I don't really know my birth family too well. I was raised in foster care.
Oh, okay. So, okay. So this would be probably why she's calling herself auntie. So would there be a reference to a lady that would have passed in her late 60s, early 70s that you would have called auntie that may not have been a family member, but there's something about 4 children?
4 children.
So were you one of 4 at one time?
I was, yes, one of 4. I have one other sibling, but I believe my birth mom lost 2 children.
Okay, because I just want to make reference to this lady saying auntie. And there was a Louise or a Louisa I want to bring through, like the name. I don't think it's her name, but I feel like there's a reference around that name with you as well. And she's also making me aware of a bike. Now, interesting, I'm trying to look at the bike a little bit more. I know it had a white basket on it, and I feel like it was only a small bike. I don't feel like it's one of those big lady bikes. I feel like it was a small children's bike, and it would have been either, I want to say like the pinkies, a pink purpley sort of colour. I don't feel like it's a red, and I don't feel like it's pink. I feel like it's like that sort of in-between colour. And I do want to say that she's very much around you at this time. Now, with her as well, I feel like she had a peaceful passing, but I do feel like there was heart or health issues around her. And she's a big lady, but I feel like she put on a little bit more fluid before she passed as well. Now, I also want to make reference to, I feel like she's been really close to you of late. And I want to say in the last 3 to 4 months. In the last 3 to 4 months for you, I feel like there's been a few changes around that you've sort of, it's like, I want to say your head is spinning because you don't know which way to turn. Like literally your head is spinning. You don't know which way. I feel like the world has been pulled from underneath you. There's been a lot of references to that for you, but that's not a bad thing. I just want to say it's when things happen like this, and I want to say relationship or family and health. I feel like those are the 3 things that I want to sort of bring through. But when things get pulled from underneath you, you sort of, sometimes when we get too emotionally connected into the situation, we can't see that there's new beginnings coming up, if that makes sense. So I do want to say, would it make sense to you that you feel like you're on a bit of a merry-go-round at the moment?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So in saying that, I just want to say with this merry-go-round, the horses are great, the ride is good, but it's time to get off, if that makes sense to you. Because sometimes we like to be on the merry-go-round because we feel safe or we feel secure and we know things are just going to happen, and it's routine is what I want to say. Because I don't feel like it's a whirlwind like a tornado. I feel like it's more of a merry-go-round. Now, for me, that's also like you're going through the lessons over and over again as well. But sometimes we we do get comfortable in routine. Yeah. Now, with that too, it's always good to sort of step up a bit and go, right, look at it in a different way, and you may just be out of your comfort zone and jump off the merry-go-round and do a different routine. Okay, thank you. I feel like she's an aunt, or I want to call her aunt, but when she's coming through, she goes, change the mundane, change the things that you always do. So even if you get up and have a cup of tea first, or a cup of coffee, tea, there's a reference around cup of tea, but there's also a reference around that you may do something else. Instead of having tea first, have a shower, get dressed first. It's like, I want to say, changing routine for you will give you a bit of a different insight for your new beginnings coming up. Now, I want to say June, July is going to be big for you, so remember to take deep breaths. So are you in a relationship at the moment?
I'm currently my relationship with the father of my children is kind of very rocky right now.
Yes. And this is why I feel like it's the same merry-go-round. Does that make sense to you?
Absolutely.
Because I feel like it's just all routine.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. So, and I feel this is rocky because of this. There's no spontaneity. There's no sort of different looking, like going away for a weekend, leaving the kids with someone. I just want to make reference to that. I feel like the relationship's a good relationship. I just want to make reference to the fact that things are becoming so mundane and so routine that it's like a little bit lull, if that makes sense.
Yes.
Okay. So what I want to say, change it up, go away for a weekend, have a good sort of couples weekend, and I feel like that's where it's going to work. Now, I've only got a couple of seconds to go. So, Jolene, please can I leave that with you? And I feel also your health is starting to improve as well. I want to say, coming into summer, have a look at doing different things down the beach and everything. So may I leave that with you?
Yes, absolutely.
All right. Thank you so much, Jolene. If you'd like to contact me, jordiejames.com.au or Jordie James Psychic Medium on Facebook. I'm quite willing to do some messages on there as well. But everyone have a lovely week, and I will see you all next week. Mwah. Bye.